Welcome back to the Northern River Karate School. I'm Ken Reed, Program Director and 7th Degree Black Belt. Thanks for joining me again today. Today is the 7th and final installment in this overview series. We finally made it to karate. Thank you for coming all this way with me. We practice Uechi-Ryu Karate Do at the Northern River Karate School. I've been studying this style for over 40 years and it is still fascinating to me. The work asks questions I think are worth answering, and it makes demands that I think are worth meeting. Uechi-Ryu is an Okinawan empty hand system. Empty hand means no weapons, and working with emptiness as a practice. In this style, you find yourself in an in-between position in the world of martial arts. We wear the karate gi, the white uniform, and we use a colored belt ranking system, as do Chinese and Korean empty hand systems. But with our animal-inspired circular movements, this style is closer to a Chinese kung fu system than it is to Shotokan karate, Japanese sword or archery practices, or taekwondo or hapkido. There is also an emphasis on short, direct power and physical toughness in Uechi-Ryu that sets us apart from a lot of these softer Chinese systems. It is truly a half-hard, half-soft practice, a tough, close-range fighting system. I've already talked a bit about the other two practices in the Northern River Karate School, Qigong and Yoga. Uechi-Ryu Karate brings it all together. Yoga develops your strength, flexibility, and concentration. Qigong teaches you to ground and center and to release internal resistance to movement. You bring all of that to your martial arts practice in Uechi-Ryu. But what does your Uechi-Ryu bring to these other practices? Urgency and practicality. The bottom line in any martial context is this: it has to work. If it's not practical, if it doesn't work in the real world, then it doesn't matter how nicely it fits into a philosophy. Everything you do in a martial arts context has to work, and it has to work right now. Certainly there is endless development available to you, but if you find yourself in a self-defense situation, you can't put off your response to some future date. You must be able to fully meet the challenges of your life right now. Uechi-Ryu works within a worst-case scenario format. The practice poses the question, how do you best meet a situation in which you are being attacked? If you are a good person who wants the best for everyone, do you set those ideals aside when you are threatened? Is being a victim a viable approach? The first right answer to any self-defense question is, it depends. Every situation is different and requires a different response. Your life is an improvisation that never repeats itself. We can say this though, allowing others to harm you in no way furthers any positive outcomes. On the other hand, the Hollywood movie solution to most problems, destroy the enemy, doesn't usually work out so well in real life either. What answer is implied in the Uechi-Ryu curriculum? Well, you play out the answer in partners work. We practice destructive movements with each other. It looks a lot like fighting. In fact, it is fighting, but it's a very different kind of fighting than our usual definition. This is the kind of fighting we want to bring to bear in a worst-case scenario. This is the answer to our question. In this kind of fighting, we are doing the best we can for our partners. You certainly don't want to hurt your training partners. You are careful. Also, you don't want to be hurt. You take responsibility for yourself. When you are attacked, you do your best for that person. You're not acting out of hatred or fear. You're taking care of them and yourself. When someone is crazy enough to attack, one of the best things you can do for them is stop them. If you accept their attack, you are making the situation worse, and you are encouraging and enabling them to do more harm in the future. If you can prevent this person from harming you, you might play a role in a healthier and happier future for this person. The destruction and harm an attacker dishes out harms him as well as his victims. No one benefits from harm. This is the real meaning of ahimsa. So you can see that martial arts practice brings urgency to all our practices. Yes, we are on board for long-term development, but at the same time, we need to be successful right now. This is the very good energy to bring to your Qigong and yoga work and to anything else you do. George Mattson, my teacher's teacher, so if you're studying with me, your great-grandfather teacher, said, do everything like a kata. The primary resource in Uechi-Ryu is the kata. Everything else in the curriculum is meant to highlight and support what is already there in the kata. The kata are vehicles for connecting to the animal archetypes the system is based on. Uechi-Ryu is a crane, dragon, and tiger style. That's quite a range of animals and strategies, from a delicate bird to a heavy cat with a fire-breathing flying serpent in between. What do they have in common? They are all predators. Cultivating a predatory attitude in our martial arts practice does a lot. For one, it removes any sense of victimhood. As predators, we feel no fear. We might be strategic, you might not always rush into conflict head on, but you are never playing the role of a prey animal. This sounds very aggressive, and it is. It also sounds antisocial, which it isn't. We don't stop being human. We are adding to, not taking away from. We add the elemental power of the animal archetypes to our humanity and intelligence. We don't exchange one for the other. I had an epiphany many years ago that might make this more clear to you. I was watching Jennifer Buston, one of our school's highest ranking students and our yoga instructor, riding an unruly horse. Among her many accomplishments, Jen has a lifetime of horse training behind her. On getting on this animal, whose owner said was unrideable, I saw Jen calmly assert her dominance over this 1,000-pound animal, relaxing deeply into the saddle. We were in a rough field of scrub, very awkward to walk through. Seconds after getting on this horse, Jen began freely moving around this difficult terrain as smoothly and easily as if she were skating on a pond. It gave me this sudden vision of horse and rider as a single creature. In that merging, Jennifer suddenly had a much stronger and more capable body, and that horse got a lot smarter. Do you see how this story relates to kata practice? You surrender to the animal energies. You allow your body to move as the three animals. You allow the animals to glare through your eyes. You notice the power and efficiency of your movements, and you enjoy how good it feels. You notice how the specific movements perfectly express those animal energies. At no point do you stop being an intelligent and compassionate human being. In kata, you are augmented, not diminished. Animals are naturally physically powerful survivors. They can escape or attack in emergencies with the integrated strength of their entire body. Think about that for a second. All animals are naturally physically powerful. And while you're considering that, add the obvious fact that you are an animal. You are a naturally powerful survivor. Your body is a wild animal. Let it take the lead sometimes. There are many things your body is much better at than your brain is. It deserves a seat at the table. This is the secret to taking care of each other in partners work and in self-defense situations. Paradoxically, when you embody yourself as a predator, you are best situated to take care of them and yourself. You are 100% in charge of yourself. It might be interesting for you to consider that these aggressive and violent practices were invented and refined over many generations by the most pacifistic group on the planet, Buddhist monks. They recognize that while it is relatively easy to follow the precepts of spiritual practices among friends, those precepts must be fully operational when the chips are down. In martial arts practice, we accept and honor our dark side. All of us are fully capable of doing harm, with or without martial training. You acknowledge and honor this powerful part of yourself. I hope the information in this series of videos has given you some good tools to help you in your martial arts journey. Enjoy your practice. See you in the next video.